You're welcome back to the gavel. The Senate has officially kick-started the process of amending the 1999 Constitution and is disclosing some of the areas up for amendment. The upper chamber is also amending the Police Act to now include cooperation between communities and the police, as well as setting the tenure for the Inspector General of Police. Now, this is just some of the activities in the Senate during the week. The Senate held a valedictory session on Tuesday, February 11th, in honor of the late Senator Benjamin Uwajumogu, who died on December 2019. The family and friends of the late senator were admitted into the Senate chamber to take part in the session.
A capable, amiable, and highly industrious senator who has been able to discharge his responsibilities of oversight and representation, both to the assignment given him by the Senate and the assignment given to him by the people of his constituency. Ben's epitaph, Mr. President, can be summed up that he came, he saw, and he excelled. His brilliance will shine forever.
That is all about all of us. Here today, gone tomorrow. What is important is what all of us have said about him. Who did we touch? How did we touch them? What legacies have we left behind? There's not much we can say than to say, in his deep sleep, on his way to his maker, that we do not forget all the good things he represents. That his death does not become a theme of weeping. It becomes a theme of joy. A time for them to remember a good man.
The Ninth Assembly is getting its own shot at amending the Constitution. And to kick off this endeavor, the Senate is launching a committee which will drive the process. Nearly every assembly since the return to democracy in 1999 has attempted to amend the 1999 Constitution. Previous assemblies in the federal legislature had seen the need to amend the Constitution to bring it up to speed with the ever-changing political, economic and social realities and meet the aspirations of a people of diverse groups and interests. The Deputy Senate President, who will be leading the committee, discloses that the committee will be taking into consideration two critical reports.
In addition to this, Mr. President, we will consider the recommendations of the 2014 Constitutional Conference and the Governor Nasir El-Rufai-led Committee on Restructuring, put together by the APC party.
He also gives the scope of the areas in the Constitution up for amendment and admits that he is not unmindful about the tediousness of the process.
We will also consider the need for devolution of power, full local government fiscal autonomy, full autonomy of the judiciary in the area of administration of justice, youth inclusiveness in governance, gender parity or affirmative action, as some may call it.
$2 billion for this.
At another hearing room in the Senate wing, the acting managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, is defending her commission's budget. The NDDC has been plagued with reports of corruption and inflation of contracts, warranting President Buhari to order a forensic audit of the agency. The acting NDDC boss appears to have a work cut out for her as she details the constraints she's contending with.
Now, I have been under so much pressure and blackmailing because I've been pressurized to pay contractors quickly. Some contractors got awarded contracts before their companies were registered. Some of them are not registered companies at all. There are so many fake IPCs. People have collected contracts for the same roads from the state governments.
Has been set aside for.
At a media briefing in the National Assembly, the Senate spokesperson also makes some clarification on the issue of the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission.
Mr. President wrote officially and unofficially to the Senate, withdrawing those lists that we have cleared. And in his letter, he now said those lists that should be kept in abeyance because as an executive arm of government, that they have discovered some fraud in the Niger Delta Development Corporation, and he has ordered forensic audit. So both the forensic audit and the new or the incoming management cannot take place at the same time. And as you all know, we are lawmakers. The main responsibility of a lawmaker is to check the executive arm of government for checks and balancing. So if they are doing that, we have no reason not to support them. That is why we have every cause and every reason to entertain the interim management committee a few days ago to make sure they came up on board, defend the budget, and we clear the budget and pass it for the people of that region to have sense of belonging.
Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts is summoning the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Office of a Secretary to the Federal Government, SGF, over the 596 billion naira ecological fund deducted from the Federation account between 1999 and 2015. The chairman of a committee, Senator Matthew Urogide, is issuing the summons as it opens its investigation into the queries brought before it by the Auditor General in its financial report for 2015. While the CBN is summoned to provide details about the current status of ecological funds, the SGF is to respond to the query on why his office has failed to establish an agency to manage the ecological fund as required by law. The chairman of the committee, Senator Matthew Urogide, wants heads of MDAs to appear before the committee in person, emphasizing that the Senate is determined to clear the backlog of all the Auditor General's reports received since 2015.
From the first page to the last page is all about Accountant General. So by the time we clear him, then we'll now come to the MDAs themselves, including courts, including our embassies, because a lot of them have been indicted in these reports. So we're going to call them one after the other. So some of you now will come now under, the auspices of the Accountant General. You are still going to come on your own for this committee. So we're going to have all the records. And those of you too that have not even submitted your audited accounts, even worse. Because those ones are really, we're going to go straight into publication. I think the Senate will take that decision anyway. People who are operating without auditing their accounts. It's criminal. And FROS, Central Bank, one proper representation. The chief executives of these places should please, appear at the next sitting so that we're able to defend a lot of these things.
Let's head to the House of Representatives to see some of its major happenings during the week.
Itself, because those data do not
mandated by the House of Representatives to look into the insurance components of the ministries, departments and agencies.
Thank you.
The House Committee on Insurance meets with the insurance company which provides cover for all the MDAs under the Office of the Head of Service. The committee questioned why data of the staff are not collected at the beginning of the insurance process.
You know that this act is clearly stated here that you should have the data, the detail of any person you are doing business with. Have you respected the Constitution or the Act in any way, or you have not?
I have not told you that I do not have data. I told you that we don't get data at the beginning. Because of the enormosity of the HOS scheme, all of the MDAs, all of the ministries, and all of the agencies, what is usually done is that we can base, premium on total estimation of salaries. Which document?
This one, this data now you are using for one.
Sir, I want you to get my flow. I need you to get my flow, Mr. Chairman. I need you to get my flow. You need to get this flow and how this thing works. We go from ministry to get data.
So no matter the number of staff, whether legitimate or otherwise, you don't carry out any verification of any sort. You just collect that data and premium is paid to you for that data. So if there were ghost workers, you have just indirectly colluded with whatever agency it is.
We have not in any way colluded with any government agency. There is no how we will know whether Mr. X or a Mr. B or a Mr. A is a ghost worker.
Both parties struggled to find a meeting point as Mrs. Odukale denounced a submission which the chairman of the committee alleged that she made.
They are not in support of this process that's been adopted because it runs foul with the Constitution. That's exactly what you wrote.
I did not agree with that, but I'll get the
Then
letter
there is no way you can keep us here wasting our time.
You have said,
Tell
no,
us
you
straight
can't quote to me the letter that I've written. What I have told you is that your question is very clear. This question is very clear. There's no point anybody twisting. I won't twist anything, and I wouldn't want this table to put words in my mouth.
You are bringing the letter, right?
The agreements, I have agreed with you here on this table to say that the fact that data were not collected at the inception of policies is not the proper thing to do.
The week-long investigation continued the following day. One of the companies which appeared before the committee handles insurance for workers under the head of service of the Federation and the paramilitary.
Is there any part of the act that says that the broker should make data available for you? Is there any part on that act? I need a simple yes or no.
In professional practice all over the world, when there is a broker on account, apart from the fact that we have relationship with the insured,
I am asking you that act, is there any portion of that act that states that the broker should provide data to the insurance company for the insured? That is what I'm asking you.
Specifically, is not stated on a per this.
That's it.
Yeah.
In all these areas you have done this business,
yes.
Have you ever collected premium first before they send the data?
We got payment from them, but they did not give us data. That is what I'm saying.
Now, this is where we call it a day on this week's edition of The Gavel. If you have any views on any of the issues discussed, please email us on thegavel@channelstv.com. Thank you for staying with us and see you again next week.